Hi, this is a clip from a lovely conversation I had with the wonderful Camille Mitchell. She was here to promote two of her upcoming features, Aurora Teagarden Mysteries Till Death Do Us Part, premiering on June 13th, and Ships in the Nights, a Martha Vineyard mystery on June 20th, both on Hallmark. Thank you for listening and enjoy this conversation. What is the role you get the most recognized for that you've done?
Probably actually Smallville.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always surprised. I'll be somewhere like really unlikely place, and someone will come up and go, Sheriff Adams.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry when they killed you off. Actually, it was
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna say something about this. I kind of like planned this question because I'm a huge fan of Smallville in a way. I've watched it my entire life. I'm 23 years old. I've watched it since I was 3 years old.
oh my
So
God.
we're coming to the 20th anniversary of Smallville soon. Yeah, I mean, you joined during season two, so for you, 18 years. But yeah, that's where I know you from originally until I look further. But this Smallville, this sheriff, it was quite the character, right? Like you put on an accent, you really went all in it, and it's such a you played the new sheriff in town, that archetype so well that for me you were one of my favorite characters. And yes, when you were killed in season 5, I was like, no, no, maybe the bullet didn't touch the heart. No. Oh my god. Oh.
Oh, thank you, Nathan. That means a lot to me. Thank you. It was really fun. It's funny because when the episode where I got killed, I guess this is a pattern when they kill characters off, they do it on the first day because they want it. Because I apparently there are some actors, or so the mythology goes, that their character's supposed to get killed off in that episode,
Yeah.
but they do all the scenes first ahead of it, and then the actor doesn't show up to be killed off. I've
Oh,
heard
I've
that.
heard that. I've heard that too. Yes.
Or like there's a great story about Joey Pantaleone, that I can't remember what film it was, but he knew there was going to be a sequel movie, so he deliberately kept moving when he was supposed to be dead, so that they could bring his character back, and it worked. They brought his character back for the sequel. He was supposed to die. He just said, "I just kept moving." But
Wow.
the day I was going to get killed off, the director came up to me, a very sweet man, Peter Ellis, and I don't know. I guess I don't know what the history is of actors getting killed off on shows, but he was very concerned. He came over. He said, it's probably best if we just, stay with the. You're all. Are you all right? Are you okay? And I'm going. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. He's talking to me as if I'm about to jump off a cliff or something.
Yeah.
And anyway, it was funny. And then they couldn't get the blood pumping. I was supposed to have all this blood gushing, and
Yeah.
the pump didn't work. And it was like, cut, 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 cut. What's with the pump? What's with the blood? There's not. And anyway, it was. And the irony too is that my deputy, as you know, killed me off on
Yeah.
that episode, and she is in the Ships in the Night with me. She's the detective. Whoops, I shouldn't have said that. She's the detective in the show.
I'm
So
gonna
I
bleep that out. Just know that.
thank you. So I hadn't seen her since she shot me in that episode. That was funny. I told
Wow, what a
her
reunion.
I forgave her. I said, I forgive you. I forgive you for killing me off.
Yeah. And Smallville back in the day, especially you joined that during season 2, it was already a big teenage show. Did you feel compelled? Because we talked about your accent, but was it a choice from the production? Did they ask that of you, or did you feel like, oh, she lives in Texas, maybe she should have an accent? Where did that come from?
Um, you know, uh, Honestly, Nathan, I just started doing it. And after I got a note from after like day 3 or 4 from the director, he came over to me and said, Camille, the executive producers, they're not sure about this accent. So you better, and I said, well, yikes. what do we do? He said, well, just soften it because you're not supposed to have an accent in this. But actually, it was too late, and I kind of liked it too.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, and for me, it was one of the things that made characters stick out is sometimes the way they walk, the way they talk. With you, it was the entire attitude. It was the entire thing. It was the fact that you gave, and I don't know if you remember this, but you gave Clark Kent so much shit, and you were so reactive because you came in during season 2. There was a sheriff before in this previous season, and by like the second time or third time you see him on the crime scene, you're like, "Hey, wait a minute! We always see you around when there's problem," and you pointed that out, and I was like, "Thank you. Nobody noticed that." And this is why for me, you were one of my favorite characters. You gave Clark shit and accountability, and that made the entire show more focused and more believable. And and
Oh,
and I was
you.
wondering also, you work with Tom Welling a lot, obviously. How is he in real life?
He's a sweetheart. He
Ah.
really is a sweetheart. When I worked with him, honestly, he was just always so lovely, so down to earth. There was one day we were filming in the summer, and of course, my son at that time was like 7 years old.
Mm.
And of course, he was a huge Superman fan, right? It was the perfect part for me to be playing the Sheriff Adams when my son was that age. It was just perfect. So in the summer, he used to love to come to set with me. And so he'd come to set, and there was one day, I'll never forget it. We were filming at the Kent Farm, which is a beautiful farm they found outside of Vancouver. And it was a gorgeous sunny summer day, and I was filming my scene with Tom. Oh, I'm sorry, I was filming my scene without Tom. It was another scene that he wasn't in with me. But I looked over at one point, and there were these perfect corn rows that had been planted for the filming. And I see just past that, Tom Welling was throwing a football around with my son.
Oh, that's so nice. Oh
It
my
was
God.
so you can imagine what that meant to my boy. That just meant the world to him that he was throwing a football with Superman, right? I mean, it was like it was, and I always was really fond of Tom, but I just really adored him from that moment on. I just thought that was so generous and sweet. If rather a lot of actors would have
Mm,
just gone to their trailer, they wouldn't be playing football with a kid.
mm.
And it made him so happy. Yeah.
Wow. How this is you're telling a story that is very reminiscent of what I've heard from the people, the casting crew, Michael Rosenbaum, Tom Welling. They were very nice people. I'm blanking on the name of the gentleman who plays
Oh,
Luthor's father.
oh,
Uh,
John. You mean John Schneider or
back.
Luther's?
John Schneider is plays Clark's father, and
Yes.
Luthor's father is played by I'm blanking on his name, but an amazing actor,
Glover. He's a fabulous actor.
fabulous,
Oh boy, I'm just gonna look him up. He's a wonderful stage actor.
amazing. I've heard so many stories about how great he is, and he
Yeah.
started in New York, and I know that he's an amazing actor.
Oh, yes, he was absolutely wonderful.
Mm.
And uh, John Glover.
Oh my God, John Glover, amazing,
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
incredible
And
cast.
just a joy to work with. And they all were, and they really were. They were all, and another time, John Schneider, when one of the first episodes I was on, again, Charlie was with me. It was summer. And, I look over and John Schneider's showing my son the Fortress of Solitude, taking a tour of the set. And my little boy was just like, he was in heaven, and
Mm.
it was great. It was just great.
Wow. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't believe it. And you also came back in season 7 and in an episode that was directed by Tom Welling. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah.
And how was Tom as a director?
was great. I mean, he was, he worked very closely with the director of photography who he'd been working with for so long. And he was great to work with. It was, in fact, the scene we had together, Tom was directing that as well while we were, acting in it together. But of course, he had a stand-in when he was directing us, and then he'd come on for the filming. But he was great to work with. Yeah, just a pleasure, real pleasure.
Incredible.